Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dancing Palette with Chef Paul. Food is love. Love is memories. And today we're taking our way down to the Florida Keys to talk about my uncle. It's funny because we call them primo, which if you're Hispanic, you know that means cousin. But I couldn't look at him as a cousin. He was such an incredible figure that he was an uncle. And I loved him to death. And today we have the opportunity to have his younger son with us today, Miguel Quintana, and he's one of the best outfielders ever to play, was drafted by the Red Sox and the Indians, and now runs Diamond Dreams, teaching the youth of Miami the love of baseball, something that we all grew up with, my grandfather grew up with, his father grew up with, and we welcome Mikey to the show. God bless you, my friend. Love you.
Love you. Thank you for having me.
We're gonna have a good time today. We're gonna pay tribute to Orestes Primo. One of the great things about him was no matter what, he would get pissed off. He would argue. He would put. No sooner did he scold you if you did something wrong, did he come over and give you a huge hug, tell you, I love you, you screwed up, but I love you. And one of the greatest things was he taught me the love of fishing, the love of being on a boat, and just because of everything else, the love of what being a family man was and being an incredible father. To Mary, to Annie, to Manny, all of these individuals, his older brothers and sisters. And I want to have Mikey, while we're going to start getting things set up, we're going to have Mikey talk about Diamond Dreams and talk about baseball and being at FIU, but I'm going to let you know what we're going to be making today. In honor of the Florida Keys, in honor of Orestes, in honor of Primo, one of the great things was when we would go every year down to the Florida Keys. We had a timeshare down there. We went down every year. And every year we would go fishing, go doing, all of us all together. Manny and Mikey and, Primo and us, we would always head out to the Keys down in Key Largo, go out fishing, and it was always whatever we caught, that's what we were eating. That's what we were going to eat. And in honor of that, one of the greatest things that we always did was when we got a chance to catch mahi. So for Primo, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do today a coconut crusted mahi that has been soaking in coconut milk for the last 24 hours. We're going to roll it in toasted coconut, finish it off in the oven. We're going to top that off with a mango chutney sauce and on a bed of charred corn and sweet peppers with a Dijon teriyaki vinaigrette. But first, we're also going to do this. Now, obviously, I don't think Primo ever had this one, but it's the Keys. I like it, and my son, God bless him, he's behind the camera. Hi, Joe. One of the greatest things was we created this fried Brussels sprouts salad with bacon, sauteed onions, a little bit of balsamic glaze, and a little bit of Thousand Island dressing. I know it might not have been your father's absolute favorite, but it matches so beautifully with this dish. What was it like for you, to go from being such, and I'll say it honestly, a big star at FIU. You were one of the best outfielders to play at FIU. And then get drafted. What was that like?
Well, it was a great experience. I had gotten drafted in 2000 by the Boston Red Sox, and I decided to go back for my senior year, was when I had that really big year.
Right.
And I was an 8th round pick with Cleveland that year, and that was a blessing because that's the kind of like one of the biggest reality checks because at that point you're kind of selected to go play, and the funnel gets a lot smaller at that point. So it was a great opportunity. It was a great privilege.
You're in Miami. Seriously, if you got a small child who wants to learn how to play baseball, You can't find a better academy. My son was there. It's an incredible academy, and even if they don't go on to play in the majors, play college, whatever, the camaraderie, the honor, the respect, everything that his father taught him, taught me, is what he imparts on the kids. What the hell was it like to be there, bro? I'm serious.
Yeah, it's a great experience, especially in the spring trainings when you get the opportunities to go and play in the big league games. It's just a great experience. It's just, when you're in the moment, you try to soak it all in, but there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of practice, a lot of things. You might miss some things, but 20 years later now, you kind of look at it and it's like, man, it was pretty cool. Kind of a pretty cool experience. But I try to mimic that as much as I can, in our own environment there with Diamond Dreams, and I'm very grateful for the game. It's something I fell in love with at a very young age, and it's something that still surprises me daily.
We're gonna get started now, and we're gonna get into this next story real quick. But we are making the coconut mahi. So what we've got here right now, we've got some coconut that we're gonna go ahead and start toasting off in the oven. Get yourself a sheet tray. Start toasting these babies off. You don't want to get them completely brown. Remember, you are going to be throwing these back in the oven after they cover the fish. So we're going to go ahead, drop these in. We had our fryer going, getting nice and warm as we're going to get ready to start making the salad. We're going to keep talking to Mikey. We're going to talk about his dad. We've got some Brussels sprouts that we've gone ahead and sliced off in half. We're going to drop them in the fryer. I never said it was going to be healthy. But we're going to go ahead and deep fry these, get them nice and crisp. Sauteing for a little bit our bacon and our onions, sauteing those suckers off, making sure that they're nice and pretty. We've got them off, we're going to put them in a cast iron skillet, get that all ready to go. We're going to fry these things up. And what's amazing about this dish is where my son looked at me, he's behind the camera shaking his head, saying yes, he's absolutely right. One of the great things was if I could make him eat Brussels sprouts, anybody can eat Brussels sprouts. I'm not a huge vegetable eater. You can figure that part out. I'm more of a meat eater. Mikey's the vegetable eater. I mean, look at this kid. This kid, looks like he can still play ball today. But we go ahead and we deep fry that. We got bacon rendering down. We've got the onions going. We're gonna combine all of this together. We're gonna do a balsamic glaze. We're gonna plate it up. And when we come back, we're gonna continue talking to Mikey. We are putting together dinner. Now, while you were gone, we've been sauteing bacon. We sauteed the onions. The Brussels sprouts are fried up. Now it's time to start putting this magic together. The coconut's in the oven. We're gonna take your Brussels sprouts, drop it in that bacon. Mikey, come on over here. You're gonna see this. You're gonna love this, baby. We're gonna start putting this stuff together. We're gonna go ahead, get our onions, our caramelized onions, drop that in there. Hear that? You hear that sizzle? That sizzle is love, baby. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. That's exactly what we want. We want that love. We want that going all the way through. We're just gonna toss this in that wonderful bacon fat, get that all rendered up. Then just as it's starting to finish up, starting to get a little bit of caramelization, we're gonna grab our balsamic glaze. This is the sweetness, baby. This is love. All right, here we go. Drop that right on in. You want to get a little bit of that glaze. Mikey's never had this before. He's gonna sit here. My son's gonna be jealous because he wants this for himself. But we're gonna go ahead and start to put this together. That smell. Guys, the smell is what brings memories. Smell is what brings love. Smell is what brings the hunger. And unfortunately, I smell way too much. But it is absolutely fantastic. While that's finishing sauteing, we're gonna get started on our dish for dinner. We already got the coconut going. We're gonna do that charred corn salad. We've had the dish, the cast iron skillet on the stove. We're gonna drop some corn, let that start. Woo. I love sizzle. Sizzle is so good when you sit there and you start going, oh yeah, babe. You know,
That's great.
now we're gonna go ahead, get this ready. Mike is gonna have this for the first time. We're gonna start plating this baby up for you. As that starts to caramelize so we can get that first dish out. Oh, just hear that. Hear that. That's just beautiful. That's just absolute gorgeous. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get that right on the plate. That balsamic has gone all the way through. Your Brussels sprouts have got a little bit of char on them, which is always a good thing. Then to finish it off, to finish this dish off, believe it or not, a little bit of Thousand Island dressing. Drops right over the top, gives a little bit of a coolness to it. There's my son in the back. He's sitting there shaking his head going, this is sick, I love it, I want some. You better make sure you have some left over for me. Chris, what do you think, baby? How are we looking? We need that Thousand Island? We need it in there?
Oh, yes. Put
There
it
we
on.
go, baby. A little bit right on top. Gives you a beautiful hint of color. Gives you that wonderful little tangy flavor. We're gonna grab a fork right here. And here we go. The ultimate test for our guest of honor today. Try that baby out. Tell me what you think, baby.
Never had this.
Nice and hot. Get that sweetness. You get the tang.
Very good.
You get the onions. You get that bacon. How can you not love bacon, bacon fat, onions?
Bacon makes everything better.
Oh yeah, babe. God bless. Now, we're gonna keep putting things together. While the corn, and if you're looking back here, my corn is popping, it's starting to look like popcorn. That's exactly what you want. You wanna char something. I know Chris is coming around. I want Chris to go ahead and take a look. Guys, you want something to char. Don't screw with it. Leave it there. Let it start to pop. That popping noise, those are sounds of love. Those are sounds of caring. Those are sounds of taste. Those are good sounds. So we want to go ahead and let that go. We want that, the black that you see on some of this, that's not burning, baby, that's charring. That's flavor. They turn completely brown, then we got a problem. But you leave that going, we're gonna start that off. So, Mikey's been eating the asparagus, good?
Love it. Love the bacon, love the sizzle.
Perfect.
Got a great
So
taste.
we've got, the corn is working for our start. We are going to go ahead and, real simple tip. Aluminum foil is your best friend. Why do I say that? Because you can wrap stuff up and not have to clean afterwards. Because trust me, the last thing I want to do after cooking for a bunch of people is to sit here and have to clean up. Now we've had our mahi over here that was caught down in the Keys. We've had it soaking in coconut milk. Why coconut milk? Why not just a straight coconut? I want more flavor. We always want more. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this, take your coconut, lay it out. We're gonna take your fish. Beautiful piece of mahi. Look at that, baby. Look at that. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Oh yeah, babe. Go ahead. We're gonna toss this right along into that coconut. Get that coconut all the way around that beautiful piece of fish. Okay, get that all nice and pretty. Once that's ready to rock and roll, we're gonna go ahead and we are gonna throw that into the oven. Put your oven at about 375 degrees. How long is it gonna take? It's gonna be dependent on your oven. Some ovens actually run a little bit hotter than other ovens. So you just need to be able to check it as you're going along. Now, while we're doing that, we're gonna start working on our charred corn salad. We'll move this off to the side. Also, folks, if you don't know this, wash your hands. Every time you touch something, you're gonna touch something else. Make sure you wash your hands. It's absolutely imperative that you do so. It's always best to be clean. You don't want to get anybody sick. You don't want to have anybody having any problems. So we're going to start with our charred corn. Charred corn is on. Take some sweet peppers. You can pick these up at your local store. Doesn't matter the color. Just make sure you get the sweet ones. We want to take out the seeds in the vein right in the middle. Okay, we're going to take that right on out. We're going to go ahead and slice these babies up. Got that right on up. You want these small, you don't want them too big. You don't want it to overpower the dish. Okay, take a little bit of that. We'll take one more. You know what? Let's go red. Let's add some color. So, cut that, get that up and running. Okay, tear that right on out in the middle. And one of the greatest things and one of the greatest memories that I'll ever have of this man and this entire family, was when I had my restaurant. And we always called them the Quintana clan. That entire group came over. And we sat there. And I made dinner for over 20 people sitting at my restaurant. And my son, who's behind the camera right now, shaking his head. And it was something your dad said to me in private. Your grandfather couldn't be here, but at least I am. And that was, considering the name of the restaurant was called Our Passion. And it was, as I get emotional, something that my grandfather taught me, that I learned cooking from him. This is what I do. My son, who's been cooking with me since he was 6 years old. It's our passion. And your dad taught you your passion for baseball, but the fact that it's still family, it's still a beautiful thing. Now let's get back to our damn dish before I start crying too much. We've been chopping up our peppers. We've got our onions that have sauteed in the back. We're gonna add this to the char. Yeah, come here, kid. We're gonna add some onions to this real quick as I'm trying to find my tongs. There we go. Add just a little bit of onions. You don't want a lot. Just a little bit to go on in. It's just to give it a hint of flavor. Okay. Then we go ahead. We're gonna add some cilantro. We're gonna take it real quick, give it a very quick chop. Cilantro is such a beautiful herb. Some people are, I don't like it. Oh, baby, it's just such a beautiful herb that you have. It brightens everything up. We're gonna add that right on in. Then, while we're doing that, we're then also gonna go ahead and start taking our charred corn. Look at that, beautiful. That's nice coloring on it. It is not burnt, folks. I'm telling you right now, that's just flavor. You just drop that right on in. Okay? Now, what's gonna complete this dish? What's gonna complete this side dish? It's a Dijon teriyaki vinaigrette, which we're gonna make very, very quickly. We're gonna go ahead and take some Dijon mustard, drop it on in. There's my boy Chris over here is taking shots of it over here. We'll bring it over for you, Chris, so you don't have to go too far. There you go. We're gonna add the teriyaki. Now, Little trick. Not everybody likes Dijon mustard because it might be a little bit too tangy. But you also need to add a little bit of sweetness to this. So here's a little trick for you. Honey mustard. Add a pinch of honey mustard to it. Give you a little bit of the sweetness. Gives you another little level of, you're gonna stir that all together. Remember, you check everything for taste. Check everything you got. A little bit more honey. Just a pinch more. Now remember, your fish is already going to be sweet. So you want something that is going to counteract that. We want something to counteract that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Mikey, you're gonna get the tang, a little bit of sourness, a little bit of saltiness.
Perfect.
So,
Oh yeah.
go ahead. See, he's an Emerald fan too. Oh yeah, baby. Here we go, drop that in. Stir that up. Get all that nice and well seasoned, let it sit off to the side. Let that all come together, okay? Take that out. We're gonna check on our fish, and when we come back, we're gonna put together the mango chutney sauce. And we're back. Guys, while we were gone, when I went ahead and I got some mango, go ahead and chop it up. If you can't find fresh mango, and not everybody's from Miami, okay? But a lot of the stores you have will have a frozen mango. It works just fine. Actually, frozen mango works really well because it's already releasing some of that juice, some of that water as it's defrosting. We also went ahead and took some peppers, added them in. If you're starting to notice a theme, some of the peppers, all of that stuff. When we create food, there should be a flow in what you're making. Now we're just gonna go ahead, we are going to dice some onions, add this in, and this is gonna be our mango chutney. And I got Mikey over here on the side, because we already took out the fish. It's just resting for a minute. He's already looking at me going, what are we eating? Because the smell of coconut in this place, oh good Lord, baby. Go ahead, add a little bit in. Put that right on inside. You should add a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, okay? Let that rest for a minute. We're gonna bring over our fish. Oh baby, this thing looks sexy as hell. Everyone looks at me and goes, why do you call food sexy? No, food is sexy. Just like we look at a woman and be like, they're a man, or something, and be like, they're sexy. You can look at a beautiful piece of food and go, that's sexy, baby. So, my son's back there laughing. Here we go. We're gonna start plating this baby up. We're gonna take our cutting board, move it out of the way. We're gonna get this ready here for Mikey, who, again, Mike, it's been an absolute honor having you here on our pilot show for the first one. Paying tribute to your father, to your family. It really does mean a lot. So we've gone ahead, the corn has been resting for a little bit. Go ahead and lay that down at the bottom. You already got that cilantro going right here. I'm gonna lay that down. We're gonna take our fish that's been out of the oven, resting for a few minutes. Beautiful piece of mahi. We're gonna sit this baby right on top of there, just like that. And to finish it off, go ahead, take some of that wonderful chutney that you created. Okay, get that nice fresh crunch, a little bit of that onion in there. We want that. Drop that baby right on top. And then to finish it off, nice little piece of cilantro, as we have a bunch of it fall all over the place where we got it going. Drop that cilantro right on there. And there you go, babe. Coconut crusted mahi, topped with a mango chutney on a bed of charred corn salad. Mikey, you've had, and he told me it was the first time he's ever had it. We're gonna take this out of the way here.
Looks great.
There you go, my friend.
A little bit of everything, right?
Just a little bit of everything, gets it all in there. Ladies and gentlemen, food is love, love is memories, and this has been an incredible memory to be spending it with Mikey. Always remember you can find us on Instagram at The Dancing Palette. You can find Mikey at Diamond Dreams Miami on Instagram. Make sure you look him up, look up his work. The work that he does with his kids are absolutely amazing. And we're gonna be getting ready to go to our next week's episode. We're gonna visit my grandfather. We're going to do something that's kind of unique. It's called the Arroz Imperial. Everybody in Miami knows it. Most people outside of here don't. It's like a Cuban lasagna, baby, and you're gonna absolutely fall in love, so oh yeah, babe. We'll see you next week. God bless, much love.